Right, peace to the YouTube family. It's your man God Science up in here with a new video. Know it's been a while, but let's get into it. This is the series of music producers that inspired me growing up, and on top of that list is the one and only the Bomb Freaking Squad. And if you don't know, you better ask somebody. All right, let's get into it. Who is the Bomb Squad for all you youngins out there that don't know? Well, coming up in the I would say the late 1980s into the early half of the night of 1990, the Bomb Squad was insane. They changed the technology of sampling. They did things. The first time I heard of the Bomb Squad was actually Public Enemy first album, Yo Bum Rush the Show. Now that album wasn't. I don't think that album was one of the greatest to me. I never really gravitated to it. I heard a couple songs, but I think the following year or 2 years after Public Enemy came with "It Takes a Nation of Millions to hold us back." That album is a hip hop classic. If, like I said, if it was a hip hop Hall of Fame, they will be right up in the front. That album, I actually remember the first time I got that album and sat down and listened to it, and I was in a trance. It was, I can't even explain it. It was like, wow. The sampling. Now for producers, when you listen to hip hop, you're always gonna like focus in more on the beat. And when I was young, I always did that. And they were doing they had songs where it would be like 4 or 5 samples in it, crazy sounding shit, but it's all coming in at the same perfect time. Songs like Black Steel. Gosh, I can't even get the title of that name, but they have so much damn hit songs on that. Don't Believe the Hype. I mean, the Bomb Squad was actually made up of Chuck D, Hank Shocklee, Vietnam, Terminator X, and they produce fucking hits. All right. They actually worked. They were responsible for Public Enemy's sound and Ice Cube. Ice Cube, when he broke up with NWA, and wasn't using Dre or Yella as the producers, that he went to the East Coast to get away for a while, and he hooked up with the Bomb Squad. The Bomb Squad was responsible for making America's Most Wanted. I mean, all of Cube's classics. All right, his first and second album, he was under the Bomb Squad. Jackin' for Beats, No Vaseline. I mean, I don't know if they actually produced it, if it was him or DJ Pooh, but the Bomb Squad did the bulk of that album, and they changed the way of sampling. Now, I always credit Marley Marl for being the first one to do most of the sampling early in hip hop, but the Bomb Squad took it to another level where they were sampling so many things, man, and it was so much going on in the track. It was not being done before they did it. They had a sound to it. It was I mean, it was sweet. You know what I'm saying? And when I heard their production, I was immediately, man, these are the times when I decided, like, man, I want to be a music producer, because it was so fucking amazing. You know, figuring out how the hell. And back then, they didn't do sampling like how we do sampling now. Back then, it took extra amount of work. I could imagine these brothers being in the studio chopping up the samples that they sampled. I mean, I know the Akai, I don't know if the MP60 came out at that time, if he was using the Drumulator or the SP1200 along with the Akai S950, I think. And these, you know, we know dealing with back in the days, it wasn't a lot of memory. You know what I'm saying? Like today with Machine or Pro Tools, whatever you use, it wasn't a lot of memory back then. The good thing about that is that you got to be more creative. I think it brings out more creativity when you have limitation. I've heard Pharrell said that a couple times. the more limitations you have, then you have to come over more. And I can speak firsthand, because when I first started, I couldn't afford the equipment, so I had to get a DJX. If anybody knows what a DJX is, a Yamaha DJX was for like $350, the cheapest piece of equipment. But it was pretty cheap. If you wanted to be a music producer, this was like 2001. And you couldn't afford SP 1200 or MPC 2000 XL, whatever. That is what I used to make music with, and it had like 12 seconds sampling on it, and I made some crazy shit on that keyboard. So limitations do bring out a lot of creativity, and these brothers was real creative. I mean, they, like I said, hits. Not even talking about Fear of a Black Planet, which was, I think, it could be a great debate on which Public Enemy album is better. You know what I'm saying, Fear of a Black Planet or Takes a Nation of Millions. It's kind of hard for me. I like It Takes a Nation of Millions better, but Fear of a Black Planet was a crazy follow-up, and I think the Bomb Squad was responsible for one of the top hip hop songs of all time, Fight the Power, which has to be like the video. Not even that. I think Public Enemy has the best video in hip hop history, which is Night of the Living Bassheads. Night of the Living Bassheads is what a fucking video, all right, at the time when it came out. And the beat on top of that, 911 is a joke with Flavor Flav. I mean, the Bomb Squad is amazing. Hank Shocklee and Eric Vietnam said these dudes was amazing. Top producers, super producers. Like I said, in the Hall of Fame of hip hop, they were trendsetters. Hip hop will never be the same after they came through and did what they did. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta show respect for these brothers. They are in my top producers. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of hip hop producers that's in the top producers of all time. So it's hard to say who is the hottest producer of all time. So that's why I'm doing it's so much producers that gave me inspiration. But Bomb Squad, for any youngins out there that never heard of the Bomb Squad or even never heard of Public Enemy, which is fucking, you should be ashamed of yourself if you call yourself a hip hop head and you don't know who the hell Public Enemy is. Go back to the lab, listen to it. I guarantee you're gonna be inspired by it. Now, it's different. I lived it. I remember when it first came out and things like that. But at the same time, some music are timeless. You know what I'm saying? Some music is timeless. And good music will always be sorted out. You know what I'm saying? There's always going to be generation after generation that's reaching back, looking back, listening to music and being inspired from that. You know what I'm saying? So if you hip hop head, go check it out. All you youngins out there, the Bomb Squad, Hank Shocklee, Chuck D, Terminator X, Vietnam. Thank you for your music. Thank you for inspiring me, for moving people. I mean, for just putting a page. Y'all got a page in hip hop history, and if it's only me, I want to say y'all touched my life and inspired me. So I appreciate that. Salute. Anyway, that's it. I ain't going to be much longer. Y'all go check out the Bomb Squad music if you haven't. You know what I'm saying? Thank you for subscribing and watching. And peace.